All right. So, get this camera nice and still here on the arm. I wanted to go over this a little bit more in detail because I was bringing this up and I was having kind of some problems with it a little bit because it had been so long since I used it. So I wanted to go over the basics before we kind of move on, and I play more games using this method. Because I want to be able to use these cards, these Mythic Game Emulator Deck, Game Master Emulator Deck cards, because they come in handy. Because one, they're portable, and you can just have this little space. And I'm all about, obviously, this channel it's all about space and having very limited space and questing from there. I made, and this is what I'm going to start doing more, one sheet wonders. And it's basically the rules summed up on a page or two. And page preferable, one page. But if I need multiple pages, I'll have them there. That way, everything's in order. I can just go from there and read it off. As you can see, these cards come in 3 packs, or 3 colors, I should say. Not packs, but these purple ones. The yellow ones, purple ones, and the red or burgundy ones. These purple ones, you've seen these before if you've been watching the channel, have the fate questions and how many cards you go up till you hit a yes, and same with the bottom there, and the chaos factor right there, and then this is the chaos factor card, okay, and that you could put a token on there, a dime, whatever, but these I use from another game called Ghostbusters here. And they have in the middle the proton ring. And these kind of came out there, and I'm like, ooh, these make little good game pieces. So there's one for recycling your game pieces that don't throw everything out, because you can use stuff like this. Okay, so what I've been showing you is these cards, and before I get to the main cards here that you draw from, these cards here, these are all numbers, which you could probably shuffle these and use like 8 of them for an 8-sider, 12 of them for a 12-sider, and so on. It only goes up to 17 though, so you have 17-sider. But what you do with these cards, you assign a character that you meet, or character, an NPC that it's already involved with the adventure, and you assign them a number. And anytime the cards or the question asks for an NPC, then you put, say there's 3 cards, right? You can just do one of these little shuffles, and then the butler was number 3, so he has something to do with this. Something like that. So yeah, and you can probably mix them up with more cards if you want more of a shuffle, and then just throw out the ones that aren't, the extra numbers, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, Burn. Okay, so there we go. That's the reason for those, so I'll set those aside. And these bad boys here. Okay. What we're going to do, I'm going to go over the real basics of the rules on the one sheet, and then on the next couple sheets I did I kind of worked out a game using one of the cards already, so we'll just go through it, and I'll pretend that I'm picking a new card, and I'll run you through it and every time. But right here, say, okay, I'll show you everything you need to know for each scene. Let me show you, first of all, the scenes. This is a Mythic adventure worksheet that comes with Mythic, and the scenes are broken up nicely. Here you put the chaos factor, whether it's 5, 6, 7, or 8, or 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and here's the rules for that. Come up with scene setup, roll 1d100 against chaos, play out the scene. When the main action ends, the scene ends. Update lists, characters, threads, chaos factor, award favor. Well, we're not doing favor in this one. The favor points are for the Mythic game itself, if you want to use it as an RPG game, which I have in the past. If you've seen one of my videos, the Rage adventure was a Mythic superhero adventure. So here, let's go through this real quick here. You know, Mythic Emulator Deck rules, one sheet wonder. Prep your decks. So you separate the cards by color. You know, which I pretty much already did there. And then these I just set aside here. Prep your decks. Alright, separate the cards by color. The number cards are for the list cards, but can be used as dice if needed. Yep. Shuffle the cards, one deck up and one deck down. One deck up, one deck down. So, all these here, you want half of them up and half of them down. There's some kind of reasoning to it, but so just pretend that you separated one deck down, one deck up, and shuffled them. Okay. So I think you shuffle them all together. Okay. Okay. Chaos factor starts at 5, so we'll use this right there. And put that token right there. That's medium. Okay. And prep your threads. Prep your threads and characters. Come ready with them or make them as you go. So maybe, you know, so I'll tell you this adventure here. I'll show you. I came up with a real easy, generic, let's see here. Where did I put that here? I got the sheets out of order here. Well, I'll just tell you. The adventure hook. Oh, here it is. The cute princess. Let's see that. The cute princess carelessly got herself lost in a forest, and now Dirk has to find her. Hopefully something worse hasn't happened. So one of the things I did is I used the card, and I used some of the words from the card, the description, which are here on the right and left, and then also I could use action, open, you know, subject. In this case it would be princess or ally, something like that. But the words cute came up on the previous card, so that inspired me to kind of come up with that adventure hook. So a cute princess carelessly got herself lost in a forest, and now Dirk, our hero, has to find her. Hopefully something worse hasn't happened. So if you've caught, if any fans of Dragon's Lair, oh, there you go. Set chaos to 5. Yeah, it's there. So that's a thread. That's a major thread. So once that threat is resolved, he finds the princess, and he rescues her from whatever it's going to be. Then you win. Okay, that adventure. And characters. So the characters, you'd say, okay, what are the characters in this story? I can use this and say, okay, the characters are going to be, I won't include myself as the character, so I'll keep myself off the list. These are for the NPCs for now. I'll write princess. And since we don't know if anything took her or not, everything is blank. I'm not going to say a dragon or whatever. We don't know yet. That's part of the mystery. Okay. Now, since this is a game emulator, I could plug in a bunch of a boss villain if I wanted to, and have a scene where something triggers that towards the end. You know, or it's just an automatic boss fight using X monster from Lone Wolf, Dungeons and Dragons, Dragon Slayer, you name it, whatever your RPG game is. I'd have like a list of monsters that you would take on. Okay, so generate the opening scene. Come ready with one or make a new one, treating it as an event. Well, I use some of the words from the cards with a real generic. Someone wants something and is having trouble getting it. Dirk wants to find the princess and is having trouble. Look, she's lost. He's looking for her. Play out the scene. So you can ask a fake question. I'd say up to 2 or 3 is what they recommend. So I could ask something like, am I in a forest? And so I'd, flip this over. I could say, okay, well, since my chaos is at 5, and here, the first one, I'd say it's 50-50, all right? So I flip one card, and that's a yes. So the first one's a yes. So yeah, I'm in a forest. That's how you could do that. Or you could just assume, yeah, he's in a forest. That's where I want it to take place. And then ask an event question or describe a picked event. Ask an action question or describe a picked. I'm sorry, I should have wrote an action question there. Ask a description question or describe the picked description. So all these card words are an aid that can help you. So the first scene, could be something like modern, loyally. So that's the event. What can I do from that? Let's see. Ask an event. So the event is event focus PC negative. Okay. So something bad is happening to my character. And this chaos factor is 1 to 5. So it's expected. So I can use these words to try to help me out. Action, open, ambush. Okay, so right away he could be attacked by something in the forest. Okay, so that's an opening scene there. So action is out in the open, so maybe there's some natives that are like shooting arrows at him because he's out in the open or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. See, applied interrupts or altered scenes. So an interrupt, if my chaos factor was 6 to 9 here, anywhere from 6 to 9, all right, there would be an interrupt. So either, I could pick another card and just ignore the yes or no and just get the descriptions to see, well, what's the interrupt? Or I can come up with an interrupt on my own, which is usually the preferred method, like something from your imagination real quick. But here, watery, violently. So something to do with water. Here we have fame, subject, action, overthrow. So maybe there's a thunderstorm, right? A thunderstorm, and there's a lot of water coming through. There's a flood, and so the natives are kind of distracted a little bit now. So that could work. Let's see here. So when an event focus calls for a thread or character PC positive, move towards a thread or an NPC action, shuffle your pile of thread or character list cards to see who or what is being called into action. Then pick. Okay. Well, I don't have a thread list card, but I guess I could use a card. If I had a whole bunch of threads lined up, I can use a card and put thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, and then pick whichever thread that's affecting. I don't usually do that. I usually do that just with the character list cards. Okay, any yes, all yes rule. I went over this one in my short videos. Keep drawing up to the maximum number until you get a yes. If your chaos factor is 5 or above, okay, I'll read that again. Keep drawing up to the maximum number until you get a yes. If your chaos factor is 5 or above. So any yes will do, but keep drawing. If you get no, no, and it goes up to 3, and the third one is yes, then it's a yes. Okay. If below, stop drawing if you get a no. When below 5, you must get 3 yeses, as stated in the instruction card. So here, this is what we're talking about here. So say the odds, my chaos factor is at 3 to 4. Yeah, so we'll say 3. So it means you go down 1, but I got to make sure, okay. Very unlikely. Alright. It says go down 1. Alright, so go down 1. Impossible. It was very unlikely, but now it's impossible because my chaos factor is at 3 or 4. So I got to go up to pull 4 cards, you know, and I got to get them all in a row to get a yes. Okay. If I get 1 no, then it's a no. But here is the opposite. If you get 1 yes, no matter how many cards you pick, you stop at that first yes. Okay? So it's a little different from the chart. It takes some getting used to. Let's see here. Adjust. Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta read this. Apply interrupt or altered adjustment if the answer is called for. To the answer if called for. So I'll give you an example. I already explained the interrupt. So I'll explain altered scenes. So an altered is, okay, here. The next expectation, a tweak, a fake question, meaning tables, inspiration, scene adjustment, see scene adjustment table. And these are all the scene adjustments. You can remove a character, add a character, reduce, remove an activity, increase an activity, remove an object, add an object, replace an object, add 2 adjustments, you know, 1d10, so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm going to show you an example of an altered scene in the next video, where I'm going to do that, walk you through the adventure I kind of came up, the, you know, 1 scene wonder there. And the last step, one of the last steps, is adjust chaos factor accordingly. So at the end of this scene, you determine whether it goes up or down. Thinking that, well, is it an advantage or a disadvantage? So maybe it's a disadvantage. So it goes down 1. Okay, that next scene, and then you write that in. At the beginning of the next scene, your chaos is at a 4. Okay, because things are either going good or bad, you know. And then rinse and repeat for the next scene. Once the most important thread is resolved, the adventure is over. List management. If there's a call for a thread or character that isn't there, make a new one. Add or remove threads as needed. So that's a pretty good run through of just the basic rules of this, how this works. I'm going to run through this 1 scene in a you know, made up adventure on the spot, and I'll see you in the next video. Any questions, let me know down in, you know, in the comment section, because I know it's a lot coming at you, and this takes practice. But you know, I bought these cards, so I want to use them. And I want to show you how to use them as well. I don't think they have to be used perfectly. You can take, you know, some license and homebrew your own kind of rule, but I think that's pretty much the gist of it. And yeah, so there you go. Keep on solo questing. See you in the next video.